Previously on
Xmen97, Episode 10, Tolerance is Extinction, Part 3. This episode starts with what appears to be a flashback of Professor Xavier and Magneto talking in a bar, but it's quickly really revealed that this is actually Professor Xavier trying to convince Magnus to release the electromagnetic damage that he's done to the Earth, so that electricity comes back. And he threatens that if Magneto doesn't do it, then he'll force him to do it.
They don't.
After that, we spend some time with the continuation of the fight between Bastion and the rest of the X-Men. Wouldn't really call it a fight. We see Bastion has all of the X-Men tied up by the Sentinels.
Please then, heed reason.
And at about that time, Professor Xavier forces Magneto to make electricity return to the Earth. And so Bastion sends all of the Prime Sentinels to go and attack the world. The Prime Sentinels, we see snapshots of them attacking where Daredevil is, where Spider-Man is, where Black Panther is, where Captain America and Iron Man are protecting the president, and then we return back to where the X-Men and Bastion is. Bastion is threatening to kill Cable, and Mr. Sinister is upset, saying this is the thing you promised me. But Bastion says that a lesson must be made, because Cable has tried repeatedly to change the past and change the future. And so, in Bastion's mind, the only way to put a stop to that is to kill Cable. After that, we return to Jean turns into the Phoenix and rescues Cable and the X-Men. And then Jean strips out the mutant genes out of Mr. Sinister, which I guess is a bit of a pun. But Bastion still rises and attacks Cable, complaining that he was technically merciful with how he destroyed Genosha, because he could have done slave camps or death marches, but instead he killed all those mutants in such a short time. Wasn't that so considerate of him? He rips off Cable's metallic arm and merges it with him, and this appears to give him a power-up, but it also makes him more machine than man, and he grows wings. He then threatens to crash the asteroid that Magneto has been living in into the Earth, and he flies off. We then see Magneto and Professor Xavier back in what used to be the appearance of a flashback, but this time it's actually Magneto is trapped in his mind, and Professor Xavier is trying to pull him back and help him remember who he is. Professor Xavier explains to the X-Men that he's willing to stay with his friend until his friend comes back, even if that means that he gets stuck in Magneto's mind. Then Bastion shows up, and there's a big fight between all the X-Men on the asteroids and Bastion. Rogue unleashes her anger and says his name was Remy, remember it, and punches Bastion. For some strange reason, the distance between an asteroid floating about the Earth and the moon is pretty short, because Rogue punches Bastion all the way into the moon. And they fight for a little bit, but Bastion proves to be stronger. Then Sunspot attacks Bastion and gives him a little bit of trouble, but again, Bastion proves to be stronger. Then Bastion takes on the rest of the X-Men, including Jubilee, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler. Wolverine and Beast Wolverine is out of the fight. In the meantime, the X-Men that were on Earth, Beast has been repairing a Sentinel, and he crashes down on Bastion, which is a pretty neat scene. And for no good reason, someone points out that you're fighting the future, but whatever. This series has been filled with a lot of cheesy lines. Some of them hit, some of them don't hit. This fight in the future refrain doesn't seem to hit too often. But Bastion proves to be stronger than the Sentinel, and so Bastion is still below the Sentinel, but in that discussion, missiles from planet Earth head toward the asteroid. But the problem with knocking out the thrusters on an asteroid that is kilometers large, floating above the Earth, is it makes it crash into the Earth, which would be an Extinction level event.
The day you were born, your mother told me you had my
The
eyes.
X-Men stop the asteroid from falling, and Magneto actually returns and uses his powers to lift the asteroid back into space. We see all the humans on Earth cheering, saying, yeah, we did it, not knowing that the asteroid was going to crash into Earth and kill millions or billions of people, and they were saved by Magneto. But it blows up in a flash, and then we see Forge and Bishop in front of a sign of mutants with disappeared and off-world and alive signs over them, and most of the X-Men are disappeared. We see that the majority of the X-Men are in the past, in Egypt, and they reveal that they saved Apocalypse in the past. In the future, we see Jean and Cyclops, and Nathan comes out and says, we don't have to fear them. I don't feel any hostile emotions from them. So this episode's probably somewhere between a B+ and an A-. It probably has the most action of any episode so far, and I particularly like the teaser for what's going to happen next season, where it's going to be more Apocalypse. I wonder if they're going to do it for Age of Apocalypse, but we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do next. This has been a moderately successful series. I think people like to listen to my views on X-Men. If anybody has any suggestions on any animation that's coming out that they'd like to see me cover weekly, feel free to post it in the comments. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll see what I do next, if I do anything, or I just go on another 6-month or 2-year hiatus and not post anything on YouTube. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.
Not in Kansas.
Chief! Where are you? Chief!
Scott! My name is Jean Grey.
Is En Sabanur. Oh dear.
So much pain, my children. much death.